What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV, and hopefully this is the last video I do directly talking about this LeBron James GOAT crap, man. Um, I've noticed a few LeBron supporters, LeBron fanboys, resort to defending him, saying that he's the GOAT by bringing up Muhammad Ali. And first, let me get a little thing out the way, man. Just a little thing. I was looking at ESPN First Take yesterday with the replacements and all those guys on vacation, and they were talking about this topic, and I was expecting the panel to be half LeBron and half Jordan or whoever. And everybody, including the moderator, were siding with LeBron and saying that he was the greatest. See, that's how you know there's an agenda there. There's an agenda. You know, and like I said earlier, man, like it's a real agenda to erase all of the old guys out of the record books and out of people's consciousness as top players. They want to bring all these new age dudes and delude people into thinking that these guys are better than what they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just, it's been going on since 2002 and 3. That's when I really started picking up on that shit, man. Like, I remember when Kobe had that run where he scored like 40 points in 9 straight games, and I remember them saying like, I remember Stephen A. Smith saying, I think Kobe Bryant at age 25 is better than Michael Jordan at age 25. And I was saying to myself, really, nigga? 88? Are you saying he's better than Jordan at 88? The Jordan that averaged 35 points a game, led the NBA in steals, won Defensive Player of the Year, scored 40 points in the All-Star game, shot 54% from the floor, was busting motherfuckers' asses on a daily basis with the peak of his powers, and you're saying Kobe Bryant's better than him just because of a fucking 9-game streak when he was given the green light to score because Shaq wasn't, playing? Not to mention the fact that I tend to bring this up, a lot of those games Kobe was chucking. I mean, don't get me wrong, some games he was on fire, but then you have some games like with James Harden where he might shoot 12 for 29, 14 for 34, or some shit like that. Some of them games he was chucking. But anyway, back to the main topic at hand, man. Don't compare LeBron James and Muhammad Ali. Now, I appreciate and I love the fact that LeBron James speaks on certain social issues, you know what I'm saying, in a way that Michael Jordan never did. Okay? I really appreciate that. And it's refreshing to see a guy of his caliber talk about certain things. However, it has to be noted too that Michael Jordan and LeBron James play in 2 entirely different eras. Okay? Number one, we have social media. There was no social media when Michael Jordan was playing. I think at the very end of his career, with the Wizards, it was in his infancy, but you didn't have Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and, YouTube. Number two, we live in a much more volatile society, politically, racially, which doesn't make sense because that was 20 years ago. It's a lot of things going on now because of social media that we're exposed to and we didn't see in the 90s. We didn't have the same conversations in the 90s that we have now. So you really didn't have Jordan didn't really have the pressure that guys have now to speak out on things socially, but he should have. Okay, when Muhammad Ali was coming up, he was an athlete emerging in the '60s, which is one of the most volatile periods and one of the most tumultuous times in the history of our country. When Muhammad Ali was coming up, he was influenced by wrestlers and guys like that, and he wanted to make a name for himself. But the funny thing is, Muhammad Ali will tell you he never thought that he was the greatest fighter of all time. He never thought that he was. He was talking more or less, kind of to prop. I think initially when Muhammad Ali was doing that stuff, he was kind of trying to hype himself up. Okay, he really started talking around time that he was going to fight Sonny Liston, and a little bit before that. All right, and I'm pretty sure that he won a title fight. He knew that he was good. All right, and but it wasn't just for that. You gotta understand that before Muhammad Ali, athletes of color were told to shut your mouth and be thankful for what you got. Jack Johnson was flamboyant. Jack Johnson was considered arrogant, which is a word that's always attached to one of us when we don't stay in our place, uppity, all these types of things. And because of Jack Johnson, the establishment banished black fighters from ever being in a championship fight for a generation until Joe Louis. And Joe Louis had to shut his mouth. Joe Louis couldn't speak out on anything. Joe Louis saw the racism going on in this country, and he couldn't talk about that type of stuff. He had to shut up. And he was getting robbed, literally, every purse. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Jimmy Braddock was getting a percentage, like a tenth of his purse earnings every time he fought because of an agreement that he made to fight Joe Louis for the title back in 1930, 1937, I think. And then we know how Joe Louis' career ended up, all right? So when Muhammad Ali would say, "I'm the greatest," he wasn't, I said this before in a video the day after he died. When Muhammad Ali would say, "I'm the greatest," he wasn't just talking about himself. He was talking about the porter at the bus station. He was talking about the cook in the kitchen, the seamstress, the maid, the construction worker, the butler, hell, even the junkie. It goes deeper than just self-promotion. Muhammad Ali was everything that people of color at that time wanted to be, but we couldn't because we were told that we were inferior because of the color of our skin. So Muhammad Ali called himself the greatest and he was sports answer to King and Malcolm X to an extent. He went there in a way that LeBron would never go, though. LeBron speaks out on stuff, but Ali was taking a stance on things that he really took chances. You know, he really took a stance. He really showed that he took his principles far beyond any materialism. He gave up the championship in the prime of his career because of his principles. Not, you know what I'm saying? he gave it up. He wasn't going to be a corporate sellout. He wasn't going to fight in a war to kill other minorities. And they took the title away from him. And Muhammad Ali was so much more than what the media portrays. He wasn't just a fighter. He wasn't just a guy that spoke out about stuff. He was a humanitarian. This is a guy that went to other countries and met with world leaders and tried to improve relations with the United States and various countries. This is a guy that went to countries in the Middle East and tried to get hostages released. This is a private citizen. This is a guy who fucking cared about other people. You think LeBron James will go and try to get somebody like me and you, I guess compared to them, a bunch of nobodies, risk his life essentially because he thinks something's wrong? He think that's wrong? Don't compare these fucking guys to Ali. Even Jordan. Don't compare those dudes to Muhammad Ali. That's why they call him the greatest.